Hey guys, I'm 11 months late posting this, and Callum's next surgery is right around the corner, so let's dive into our first trip to St. Louis. For those of you who don't know, Callum was born with an extremely rare congenital hand disorder affecting his right arm called ulnar dimelia or mirror hand syndrome. In Callum's case, he has 2 ulnar bones, no radius, which means he was born with no elbow. He has a flexed wrist, 7 digits, and none of which are a thumb. After we were unable to find care in Canada that we were comfortable with, we were lucky enough to hook up with a doctor down in St. Louis through the Shriners Hospital, and he specializes in congenital hand disorders. Before Callum's CT and MRI and surgery, we had some time to explore the city. Most of our time was spent in Forest Park, which has a zoo, a science center, and so much more. We took full advantage of our time there and checked out everything we could before we knew we would be stuck in the hospital for a few days. Before the surgery, Callum had to get a CT and MRI so that they could create a 3D replica of his bone structure. Since it's such a rare condition and they weren't too sure how they were going to tackle it once they had him open, this gave them a good idea of what to expect. After that came surgery day. We arrived at the hospital at 6 a.m. and surgery was to start around 7 and expected to be 3 hours long. Their goal was to create about 30 degrees of passive bend for Callum by removing the tip of one of his ulnar bones and creating a divot in his humerus bone that the ulnar bone would be able to then bend into. It was a really weird feeling, being both excited and slightly terrified for Callum to undergo his very first surgery, but we were so hopeful for the prospects that he would gain afterwards. We are so thrilled to report that although Callum is only expected to reach 30 degrees of passive bend, we now are at 90 degrees of passive bend, which is just beyond what anyone ever expected, and we are blown away by that. Once he was out of surgery, we were put in the room for the night, and after a quick stint in the hospital, it was recovery, physio, occupational therapy, food, and exploration time. We, of course, made our way back to the zoo, especially finding out we missed half of it the first time around. We also ate our way around the city, enjoying all of the amazing barbecue and Italian cuisine they had to offer. Over the next week and a half, we spent a couple hours a day with the occupational therapy and physio department, working with our team to help Callum gain bend in his elbow and learn how to facilitate this for ourselves. This was truly one of the hardest parts of the trip. As a parent, it physically pains you to see your child hurt, and to be the one purposely inflicting that took some getting used to, but we knew it was necessary and the best thing that we could do for him. We made up for that by continuing with our exploration, target trips, naps, and stuffing our faces with food. After a very successful surgery and all of our physio, we made our way back home and were reunited as a family of 4. Callum's next surgery is right around the corner at the end of April, and this surgery will involve removing 2 digits, creating a thumb out of another, and hopefully straightening out his wrist. Thanks so much for listening, and wish us luck.